Welcome to another episode of Take a Bite Out of South Florida. I'm in Miami today, believe it or not. We're down on Key Biscayne at the beautiful Amara at Paraiso with Chef Michael Schwartz.
That's me.
Thank you so much for having us today. This place is insanely gorgeous.
Pretty nice, right?
Right on the water. You can't ask for a better place to work.
Yeah, no, it's a great place to work. It's a pretty good place to eat, too.
Yeah, the food.
Yeah,
I just had
not
lunch.
bad.
Food was fantastic. I'm so full right now.
Good.
I feel like I need a nap. The food was excellent.
Well, thank you.
I feel honored to be here today with
thank you.
You're like such an icon here in Miami.
Wow.
And I've been to Michael's Genuine years ago. It's been a long time, but a few times. And I know you have Harry's Pizzeria.
That's right.
Multiple locations all over Miami.
2.
Oh, I thought there was. I don't know why
Less
I thought
than
there was
ever.
more. Okay.
Yep.
Two locations. Where's Harry's?
So Coconut Grove and Miami Beach.
Okay.
Yep.
Coconut Grove is such a great area. It's
beautiful.
I just spent a weekend there a couple weeks ago. It
blew up.
It really is beautiful.
It's blown up.
Such
blowing
a beautiful,
up.
Yeah, it's gorgeous there. I love it. But this is my first time really in this part of Miami.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when you think about Miami, you think that there's probably a dozen restaurants like this that are on the water, and it's just not true.
No, really.
There's a couple on the river, which doesn't really count in terms of view.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the restaurants count, but
the view, you're like, it's not really.
Yeah,
This is
spectacular. Open Bay, Biscayne Bay.
It's fantastic.
And so, yeah, whenever I get a chance to, and which is often lately, work out of this restaurant, and particularly where we're sitting, you can't see that, but we're looking at the water.
We are, and it is really beautiful. It's such a beautiful day out, too. It's mid-April in South Florida, and we still have really beautiful weather. It hasn't gotten too hot yet.
It's coming, though.
I know. I'm not excited about it.
Yep.
I want it to stay like this. It's
you
perfect.
got to take the good with the bad. Miami's a trade-off, and in the winter it's the best, and in the summer it's hot.
It's hot
and humid.
It's hot, but we're very lucky and blessed to have beautiful restaurants like this. And you are at the helm of quite a few Miami staples. Michael's Genuine has been open. You opened in 2007, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
17 years. We just celebrated. And Amara, not bad. It's 6 years, which, in our business is you make it past 1 or 2 and you're lucky.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. And Amara, I feel like right now is starting to really hit its stride. Post-COVID, I think we attracted a whole new audience because of the amount of outdoor seating.
Yes.
And so I hate to say there was a silver lining from COVID, but it did introduce us to a new audience.
Yeah. I think it really did bring a new just business to places that had so much outdoor space.
Yep.
South Florida has a lot of outdoor dining, but I think COVID really highlighted that for a lot of restaurants.
Coupled with the fact that there was nowhere else to go in the world.
Right. Everybody came
Florida.
here.
Yep.
And now they're all here.
Yep.
And they stayed.
And now the traffic stinks.
The traffic. Well, that's why we took Brightline today.
Yes.
We came from Del Rey, and that would have been 2 hours probably on 95.
Perfect, but you could work and
we drank.
You could do that too. Yeah, I was going to say that, but you can relax.
You can relax. You can nap. You can work. You can drink. Eat. And it was like 55 minutes. Like it was a very easy, quick. And then just a 10-minute Uber ride here from the station, and there we are.
And the train didn't hit anyone along the way?
No, thank goodness. That happened.
It's been a thing.
They'll
figure it out.
True.
You pop a train into a new, city.
No,
and,
people just think they can get across.
It's just a train. No biggie.
That's a subject we don't need to go into any further, but it was a good ride, and we got down here, and
I'm happy
we'll take
you're
it
here.
back. It's been a wonderful afternoon.
Good.
I'm super excited to talk with you more about I read your bio before coming. I wanted to make sure I was really well. I wanted to make sure I was up on your background, and I read that you're from Philly.
Philly.
I'm from South Jersey.
Yeah,
Philly
I hear that. I could hear that a little bit.
You can hear. Oh, yeah. I thought I got rid of that.
Yeah, me too. But people always say, every once in a while it comes out.
It comes out. Well, that's
Where in South Jersey?
I grew up in Egg Harbor Township.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
my dad is from South Philly.
Yep.
My little sister lives in Fishtown.
Amazing.
I love Philadelphia.
Fishtown's a thing now.
I know. It really is.
It was a dump when I lived there.
Yeah?
Can I say
You lived
that?
in Fishtown? Yeah, you can say
No,
that.
I lived in Philly.
Yeah.
But no one went to Fishtown.
Right. It's what do they call it? Gentrified is the word, I think.
Yeah, I
believe.
like to think of it as, activated by cool restaurants and bars.
I mean, there's some
Some
great
may say
spots.
that's gentrified, but, whatever.
It's a cool little spot.
Love it.
So tell me about, starting your culinary career in Philly
Mm-hmm.
and LA, New York, and then what landed you in South Florida?
Yeah, I would say the weather.
Me too. Me too.
I moved to Miami 30 years ago from New York.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Philly, California, New York, Colorado, back to New York, and then Miami. And it was in the early to mid 90s when things were starting to really change in Miami and Miami Beach. And I was attracted to the excitement. But I really saw a lot of opportunity in legitimate, good food and hospitality. It was really, and to a large part still is, but it was really back then very focused on trend and flash and, what we call now clubstrants, where you could just go and eat something and party in the same
atmosphere,
in the same spot. And so, I saw an opportunity to open a restaurant that was more about, food and service and less about sparklers and
The club vibe.
yeah, nothing wrong with the club vibe.
But it's not what everyone's looking for.
It wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I opened a restaurant in '95 called Nemo on South of Fifth, and it was a success. And fortunately for me, things that I was interested in and food that I wanted to cook turned out to be things that people wanted to eat and that we're interested in. So, we sort of spearheaded this farm to table movement in South Florida, which 30 years ago, you would say, well, that was innovative. But I think in the rest of the country, it was really pretty much standard, like buy local and buy better product and you'll have better food. Keep it simple. And so that's what Nemo was really founded on. There was some cultural influences and some Asian and some European, but it hit. And fast forward 30 years, I'm still here.
So when Nemo isn't not.
Yeah, no.
When did that-
So I moved here with my then business partner. We opened Nemo and Big Pink and a handful of other restaurants. And then as partners, business partners do, or partners, we sort of started to go our own way and we separated our business relationship. And then he went on to open Prime 112 and a lot of those very successful restaurants. And I, sort of stuttered a little bit and then found my way when I opened Michael's Genuine 17 years ago. And that was a leap of faith, too, in a neighborhood that was, a little fringy. Not what it is now. Not nearly what it is now. I blink sometimes and pinch myself because back then, there were some galleries, there were some leftover home furnishing showrooms, but there was the framework for what I thought was a neighborhood. And I had no idea that it would become this haute couture retail mecca.
Yeah.
But I did feel like with Craig Robinson, Dacra, and his vision for the design district that there was a place for a great restaurant there and that it was close to Miami Beach and to neighborhoods north and south and easy to get to. So I opened there and then it blew up.
Clearly it's been a success.
It's been
17
great.
years later.
Yep, 17 years is an accomplishment that I'm proud of.
It's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was there, the last time I was there, it was a few years ago. I don't remember exactly, but I have a very specific memory of it because my boyfriend and I walked in, we sat down at the bar, and there were representatives there from Aperol Spritz. Mm-hmm. And they were, or from Aperol, from Aperol. And they were like, oh, we're buying Aperol Spritzes for everyone at the bar. My boyfriend loves Aperol Spritz. That's his drink. I hate Aperol.
Wow.
Hate it. But I pretended to like it because...
Are you still together?
Yes. Yes. I am not an Aperol fan. It's just the bitter. I don't like it.
Right.
But I drank it. And I was like, because I was like, all right, they're giving us free drinks.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you
I
gotta
might as
take
well drink
advantage of the
it.
free
But I just thought it was funny. Like we literally sat down and 2 seconds later, they're like, Aperol spritzes for the whole bar.
You know, and we appreciate those distributors and the reps and ambassadors from those brands that do that because we spend a lot of money. I mean, it helps everybody.
Yeah,
so
of
they're
course.
introducing people to the brand. They're making the place happy. They're making the owner happy by spending money.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah. So
It makes it a fun atmosphere.
But so
It's
you
great.
haven't been back since we renovated.
No.
Okay.
I have not. I need to.
Yeah.
I have
So
not been back.
we closed a couple years ago, and we did a pretty substantial renovation. And we closed for 4 months.
Okay.
And we
to come.
reopened. Yeah, we expanded the main dining room, the kitchen, beautified the courtyard.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to come back.
It really gave it like a new, a little bit of a new lease on life for a restaurant because it was getting tired.
Well, yeah, after so many years, you have to refresh. You
Gotta
need to-
evolve. And,
Exactly.
And I think that what I'm most proud of with the renovation is that we did it and it looks fresh and new, but still feels the same. And I was worried about that because, when you change something that people are so used to or endeared
regulars
with.
and-
Yeah, exactly. So we luckily didn't hear one negative comment about the renovation. And so, yeah.
That's great because people love to be negative about
love to
restaurants that
complain.
change. People
Yes.
love to complain.
It's true.
So that's pretty lucky.
No
Good
complaints.
For you.
And so we're super happy there and about to collect what we think is our Michelin Bib Gourmand for the 3rd year in a row.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
That's such an coveted award. I mean, wonderful to have.
Yeah, any mention of Michelin is I think is important, and for us, I think it fits perfectly in what Michael's Genuine is. It's a sort of an American version of a great brasserie or bistro, and it's not super fussy or elevated or pretentious.
Yep.
It's really just very simple, feels good, and so that recognition of the Bib Gourmand, I think, is perfectly fitting.
Very fitting. And so that's your Michael's Genuine. Like, let's talk about the food here at
Yes,
Amara.
we are at Amara.
It is Peruvian influence, Latin American. I mean, the
Sure.
food here. What was your inspiration for the menu here?
So when we opened, we wanted to, check a box I think that we hadn't checked. And with the cultural diversity in Miami and us being on the water and in South Florida, we wanted to celebrate the flavors of those places, right? And so we really focused on, I would say, Central and South America, but incorporating what I do as a chef. So contrasting flavors and temperatures and textures and bold flavors, but also incorporating what South Florida does best and growing stuff when it grows it, some tropicals, and to connect the dots between South Florida and Latin America, and certainly with a huge Latin American population. So, but we also wanted to be careful for us not to represent it as authentic anything, right? And so we didn't want to fall into that trap where, somebody from Argentina comes and says, that's not how my mom made empanadas.
Right.
And so, but it's terrific and it's been a lot of fun. So we touched Peru and Uruguay and Argentina and then some of the more Central American countries. And we imagine dishes or reimagine them in a way that fits with what we want to be, And also, I would say, the ability to execute those dishes from a relatively small kitchen. Mm-hmm. This is a big restaurant, and as you could see, we're sitting in a space that is an event space.
Yeah.
And so we do a ton of events simultaneously serving a la carte guests downstairs. So we have to be able to execute at a high level and keep it simple. And that was really the reason always in my career that I've appreciated this contrast in temperatures. So to create a dish, we didn't have to have a hot dish, didn't have to have all hot components. So it's usually, protein that's grilled or charred or roasted, and then some other room temperature components that make it easy for us to produce, but also is exciting to eat. And so that's a lot of when we develop dishes for the menu or think about the menu, that has to be into consideration, as well as product and local.
That's so interesting. I never really thought about that because I never worked in a kitchen. I don't think about those types of things, but that's such an interesting way of explaining it, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for me, it's the way I want to eat anyway. So instead of trying to force it and making all hot food or having, what we would say is a 3 or 4 pan pickup. So for each dish, you're shaking 3 or 4 skillets. Can't do that. We have a 6-burner range, a huge grill, and a fryer, and that's about it. And so we have to make it work with what we have. And so the result is something that's a little bit different, but I think is delicious and compelling.
Well, everything. We had the fish dip with the tostones.
Yep.
And the tostones, we even asked for extras because they were so good. So there's a cold and a hot component right there.
Yep.
We had the tuna crudo, which was another delicious, and then we got the steak.
Great.
We had a nice little.
You guys did pretty good.
Variety. Everything was fantastic.
Good.
But I love plantains in like all forms, and those tostones, I'm like, I could eat these all day.
Yeah, they're great.
So good.
Yeah. They're really healthy too. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think
it was
about
a fried
it,
banana. But
what fish do you use for the smoked fish dip? Does it change depending on?
Yeah, no, it's mahi.
Okay.
And it's a local fish. We also use a lot of cobia, which is a local fish, but then is also farmed in a way that is acceptable for us in Panama. And it's really interesting. There's a company called Open Blue, and they raise the fish in open pens in the ocean.
Yep.
And we love that fish, and we love the fact that we could always count on getting it. Whereas when it's wild caught, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
And so we print the menu every day, actually. So if we have to change the fish or the offerings, we could do that. But you
pretty much know you're going to get. I really like cobia.
Love cobia.
And I don't feel like there's a lot. I don't see it on menus that often.
No, it's a little bit of an uphill battle for us to introduce people to it. And we're up for that sometimes. We're not always up for educating the guest. Like, some people just don't care.
Some people don't care, and why waste your time at that point, right?
So we're able to educate people that care and ask questions and feature a fish like that and hope that it gets some notoriety so that, because the resources in the ocean are limited and we're blowing through them pretty quick.
Yeah.
So,
but you get what you can get and do what you can do with it.
And you don't get upset.
Exactly.
That's what I used to tell my kids.
Don't. Sometimes it's hard. You still get upset, but.
Yeah, exactly. I always get upset.
Oh my God. So being in Miami, I don't come down here enough. It's so beautiful. It's easy for me to get down here with the Brightline. Like I need to do this more often.
Brightline changed your life.
But I know it really is. It's fantastic. Now that we have the one in Boca or West Palm.
I've yet to take it. I'll be honest, but I'm a proponent of it because I know people that live up north, and it's super easy.
It really is nice, and I took it out to Orlando recently too, and it was fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, because that drive sucks.
That
is a horrible drive.
Yeah, we live in a long state.
Yes. But being able to get to Miami is fantastic. And one of the reasons why we came here to talk to you today was not only because of your fantastic restaurants, but also your involvement in the upcoming Formula One Miami Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an event that I've never been. I don't know too much about, but you're one of the featured chefs for this year. So
I'm not a fan. No, I'm just kidding. I love that.
What are you? So tell me a little bit. What's your involvement in the Grand Prix, and what do you got going on for that weekend? It's a big weekend here.
It is a big weekend, and it's a big weekend not only up at Hard Rock, but I think all over South Florida, and not just Miami either, because having it at the Hard Rock really, I think, includes Broward in a way that I think is important. And so I would say that being involved in an event like that to help represent Miami to an international audience is a no-brainer,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And then so for us, we sell pizza. And that the easy answer is we represent Harry's, and we pop up with 4 big rotator ovens and just sell the heck out of pizza all day for the weekend. Now we do other more exclusive activations. At the start stop, there's some VIP suites that we contribute some luxury items like lobster roll with caviar and Brazilian fish stew. But by and large, we're there
Mostly doing
with
the
a
pizza.
huge team. And we sell a lot of pizza. Trying not to curse.
That's okay. Here's a question for you. Do you do gluten-free pizza?
So, not at F1.
Okay, but in the restaurant.
100%. We have
Okay.
the best gluten-free pizza.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I have to come try it,
We take
'cause I am
pride.
gluten-free.
Yeah. And so it's funny because this whole restaurant
is essentially gluten-free. Yeah, it really is.
Including the yuca cheese puffs, which you didn't have, which you should. You should take some with you.
I can't have dairy. I know, it's a hard one.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm hard. I don't
We'll-
eat certain types of dairy.
We'll give
but
you some yuca cheese puffs for your loved ones.
he would love that. I love yuca.
But gluten-free pizza at Harry's for sure. We're super proud of it. But it's super hard to take that on the road.
It's hard to do, for events. I asked that with the knowing the answer would be no.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was curious about the actual restaurant. I know it's hard for pizza places in general to do that on location for events. It's just it's not really.
It's hard to do it even in the restaurant because, it's just, unless we're selling a ton of it, it's just stop and start.
Yeah.
And it takes the cooks out of their rhythm. But we do it because it's important. And
It's important. You don't want to ostracize that group of a group of people because it's a large group of people now that are looking for that.
We also do, plant-based cheese.
I love that.
Gluten-free. We try to check as many of the boxes as we can.
Which is important. And I'm seeing more and more pizza places and restaurants in general doing that, which I'm very appreciative of.
No,
but
we're yes. We love saying
yes.
Yes.
I like that. I don't like when
really
restaurants
love it.
say no to me.
Yeah.
I get upset.
Some days I'll wear a shirt that says no, and then everyone knows. Just don't ask them.
Don't ask questions that day.
Save it for the next day.
That's smart.
No shirt. I also have a yes shirt.
But you have to be pretty picky about when you wear the yes shirt.
Well, yeah, you have to be in a really good mood.
You have to be in a really good mood.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes to everything.
Yep. The no and yes shirt days are special days.
They're special days.
Yes.
So for Formula One weekend, for someone who's never been there before, do you have tips? How do you approach the weekend? It seems like there is a lot going on.
See, that's a great question that I probably can't answer very well because I
When
go
you're
there to
you're-
work.
Yeah.
And so the first year I didn't go at all because I was just off of Achilles surgery.
Oh.
And so I was on a knee scooter and I couldn't be there at all. And last year I experienced it and it's amazing. I would say, my limited expertise would say, have somewhat of a plan, download the app.
Yeah.
Try not to do too much, hydrate, and just chill and enjoy whatever you can get out of it, right? There's really good activations, there's good food, but there's limitations and depending on your access and your wristband, what you could get in to see. But if you're not a race fan, just go and have fun.
That's kind of my situation.
Yeah. Now, if you're a race fan, you better do your homework and get to sit
out
where you're going to be and get there
But
early.
otherwise, the food and drink and entertainment and just fun. Just trying to come down for the whole weekend. I'm not sure what I'll end up doing, but it would be fun.
You'll figure
make a weekend out of it.
Yep.
Figure out a hotel situation. I don't know.
Yeah, you better get on that.
Yeah. That's the boyfriend's job.
I think
he
he waited too long. Maybe he already figured it out.
He may have with points and stuff. Who knows?
He's just going to surprise you.
It would be fun. I'm hoping we can get down here.
Yes.
Take the Bright Line.
Well, we'll have pizza waiting for you.
Not
Pretty
are
good.
you gonna make me some gluten-free pizza?
Oh, shoot. Yes.
Save it on the back burner.
Yes.
I'll just have to come. Would love to come to Harry's in Cork. I need to come back down to Coconut
Yes.
Grove. I really love that
Or
area.
Miami Beach.
I like Coconut Grove better than Miami Beach, if
Then
I'm
I'll
going
see
to be
you there.
honest. Coconut Grove is cool. I
Yeah.
really like it
It
there.
really is.
We came down for my birthday weekend in March, and
There's a lot happening there. A lot of new restaurants and bars and
was
residential and
we went for a walk down by the marina where the boats and the
Yeah.
parks. The
Beautiful.
parks are so clean.
yep.
I was like, the city really does a nice job keeping
Well, you know,
everything.
there's a great deal of wealth there.
So
they
seems very
definitely,
obvious. They've done a nice job with that area. It's really beautiful. I like it. There's so much in Miami. Every time I come down here, I'm like, why don't I come more? I really need to make a point to get down here more often.
That's on you.
I know.
And Brightline.
I know. I'm gonna have to just do the
Super
Brightline
easy.
more often. Now that, it really was easy. Like less than an hour. It was amazing. It was super easy. We'll have to come back down here for dinner. I just want to come here. I want to have like a party
Yeah, you should come
here.
for dinner. You
I
should
wanna
come
have
with your boyfriend.
Yes, it's so beautiful. This space, what a beautiful place for like weddings and engagement parties,
Yeah.
baby showers, bridal showers.
So a couple things
wonderful.
I'll tell you. On the website, at Amara at Paraiso.com, there's a virtual tour of the whole restaurant. So you can sort of go around and see the spaces. We use it as a tool a lot for people that want to book events, but it's really fun to just like take the tour. And then, we recently brought on a new chef. His name is Ivan Barros, and he's a Miami native, but super talented, well balanced, sort of even-tempered. And so we've been having a lot of fun working together and changing the menu.
Nice.
And so there's a lot of really cool new stuff on the menu. And you can't beat,
cannot
as
beat this.
nice as it is for lunch, dinner's a whole different vibe with the market lights downstairs and sitting by the water.
Especially if you come here. Can you see the sunset from this? Where I don't
Well,
know,
the
are we on the right side?
the sunset's that way, but you see lots of colors. Sunset's a beautiful time. It sets behind us, but
you
it really
still-
casts. Yeah, it's setting.
Yeah, I bet it's gorgeous around here. And so, is this condos right next to us, or is this
Yeah.
a hotel? It's
Yeah,
condos.
so this originally was, so a developer built what they call the Paraiso district. It's 4 condo towers.
Okay.
And this was an amenity for the residents. So the restaurant, and then the second floor where we are was a private club for residents of the 4 towers. And there used to be a
interesting.
pool over there.
Wow.
And then we converted it into an event space. But yeah, there's four residential towers, and they're full. And so that's sort of our neighborhood. And
That's
it's
beautiful.
the Paraiso district.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Very.
There's more shops popping up and service shops like dry cleaners and barbers and smoothie places. And the neighborhood's really starting to develop into a more of a bona fide neighborhood, as opposed to when we opened, it was just a couple of towers and people just driving everywhere and
What a
figuring it out.
great place to live.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not
Man.
bad. It's beautiful.
To have this view.
So I lived next door during COVID for a year, and I rented a place there, and it was spectacular.
That's the life.
Yeah.
Man, that doesn't suck.
Nope.
That's
beautiful.
really nice. Wow.
Yeah,
This whole
Miami.
place is just fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. This is
course.
fantastic. I'm so glad we were able to make this work. Come have lunch, enjoy the afternoon. I loved chatting with you.
Well, I
now I'm
appreciate
really
it.
excited. I got to get back to Michael's Genuine.
Yes, please.
I got to come in and have the gluten-free pizza at Harry's.
You have things to do.
I know, and I have to come back here for dinner.
And F1.
And F1, yeah, I got to figure that out.
You
come
better quit your
visit
job
you
or
there.
something. I don't know. But we would love to have you, and thanks for the opportunity and for having lunch. And this was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Tell us where can we find you on social media?
Oh, Chef M. Schwartz on Instagram and Twitter.
And then Amara at. Can you tell me how to? I feel like
Well,
I'm pronouncing it incorrectly.
If you're from New Jersey, it's Paraiso.
All right, that's how I said it. Yes.
But if you're Latina, it's Paraiso.
Paraiso.
But it's Amara at Paraiso.
Amara at
or
Paraiso.
Michael's Genuine, and both
And-
on Instagram and Facebook and all the platforms. And and like I said, the website's really interesting and interactive with the virtual tour.
Yeah, that's really cool. So
And the one website will link you to all of our restaurants. So,
Perfect.
Harry's has interesting pizza making classes and
oh, how fun.
yeah, a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We're doing some cool stuff.
That's awesome. Everybody needs to check out Michael's Genuine and Harry's and Amara and just come out to Formula One too. Like, get tickets.
Yeah.
Come out that weekend.
I'll be there.
It's May
Doing
3rd
this.
to the 5th. Is it that? It's that first weekend in May.
Yes.
I know that's a big weekend. You've got Cinco de Mayo, the Kentucky Derby,
That's
Formula
right.
One. You have Sunfest up in West Palm.
Why would
It
they
is
do
a
that?
crazy weekend. But if you're here in Miami and you're interested in the races and food and all the entertainment and crazy cool activations, come out. It's in Miami Gardens at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
And
Super interesting.
you've got a whole weekend of races. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's right.
The first weekend in May.
See that? Just like a pro.
Hopefully, I try.
Prepared.
Try to like memorize all these things in my head. And there's jumbled up there, but we got it.
Did great. No notes, nothing.
No,
Just boom.
If I have notes, I stumble over my words. I find that I am so much better on the fly.
Great. You did a
I
great
feel
job.
like you too. This has been wonderful. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you all for tuning in. Share this episode with all your friends. Leave me a review, 5-star review. Share, like, follow on Apple, Spotify, all the things. Facebook, Instagram. You know where to find me, and you know where to find Chef Michael Schwartz. So
What she said.
we'll see you next time.